Man, it is beautiful out here. The snow is kind of starting to melt. It's 30 degrees. And I went up to Festus yesterday to eat dinner with Jay and Rob. Rob from Winning Edge Fishing. Check out his Facebook page if you have not. And, you know, we did the pasta house thing and then went over to Jay's house and shot some video. Had a really good time. And on the way back, I decided to stop at Dunn's. So Dunn's Sporting Goods, a little bit south of St. Louis in Peevely, Missouri. And man, I was impressed. I'd only been there one time, and the time that I was there, I was in a hurry. And I didn't really get a chance to look around, but I had plenty of time yesterday, and I bought some stuff. And that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna take this bag, it's gonna be like an unbagging. It's a lot of stuff that's gonna be coming into play here real soon, kind of springtime stuff in the post-spawn, and I'm excited to show you what I bought. I don't even remember what all I bought. I kind of went on a little shopping spree. I had to put some stuff back, but I definitely ended up putting a lot of stuff in the truck and bringing it back down here. Oh, it's Finley. What's up, buddy? You need a fishing trip too. As soon as this ice melts, we're gonna get out there. That's a good girl. All right, let's look in this bag, man. So, like I said, Dunn's Sporting Goods up near Peevely, Missouri. And I got a whole bag of stuff. I kind of went overboard. So I don't even remember what I had. We're gonna dig around here. This is gonna be fun. Got a little bit of everything. It's all kind of spread out. Some stuff is like restocking things, but there's a lot of new stuff that I don't even have. I just kind of grabbed it and bought it. So I bought one of these Z-Man Cross-Eye Snakehead swim jig. This is a 1/4 ounce, and this is called Water Bug. Let's pull this sucker out. I want to do a little swim jig video too. Just talk about the little swim jig. This is kind of neat. It's got that flat bottom on it, so that's gonna help with skipping, I would imagine. It's got these eyes on the front. Got a beefy hook. Interesting keeper. I guess that's for the Z-Man plastics. Maybe that works. I don't fish a lot of the Z-Man stuff. I mean, I fish the chatterbait, of course, but not a lot of their plastics because well, they're just kind of a pain in the butt, and you got to really watch putting them against traditional plastics. I like this keeper. Something I like on a jig is you want that, not the keeper, the weed guard right here. It's got really good space. It's right there where it's supposed to be. The closer this weed guard is to the point, the less likely you are to get hung up. And that's very, very nice. It's got good length, and it's right where you want it. So pretty nice looking jig. You know, that eye's a little bit big for me, but it will work. But I kind of like that color. It's a little bit of a unique color. So that is the Z-Man Cross-Eye jig, 1/4 ounce. Forgot I bought that. Oh, here we go. Chatterbait Elite in the popular fire crawl. You know, I don't fish a red chatterbait. This would be the first time I fished a red chatterbait. I like a black and blue. Caught a lot of fish on black and blue. That's kind of my go-to instant color. But such a buzz about these last year, this fire crawl color. And they were, you couldn't find them. They were out of stock. So I saw these. This is a 1/2 ounce. And let's go ahead and just pull it out and have a look at it. And one thing I like about the Elite is it has the right line tie on it. It's got this wire right there. It's a really good idea. It's not a snap. The jackhammers, I've got several of the jackhammers, and they have a snap on them, and I've had a problem with that snap opening up. So I really like this. It's a solid line tie on there. Really bright bait, really loud bait. Got a decent keeper in it. 5/0 hook, and I like this blade color. I like that black, darker blade. So this is a cool bait. I'm definitely will be throwing this around because as soon as this snow melts, we're gonna have a lot of cold run in, and the water is definitely gonna be stained up. And once that water gets up in the mid 40s, really the high 40s is when I like to start throwing that chatterbait. I'll mix in the spinnerbait first, then I'll go to this chatterbait. But really, really loud color. I like to put a Z-Crawl on there a lot of times. So I'll put a Z-Crawl on there, and I'll put a small swim bait on there, a speed crawl, several different trailers you can put on there. that work. A fluke is a great one too. A lot of people don't throw the fluke, but man, it really has a good action on the chatterbait. That's cool. I actually got 2 of these, you know, because they're, once the water gets warm, they're going to be hard to find. So I went ahead and grabbed another one. And I bought this spinnerbait. This is a Nordby's finesse spinnerbait. Nordby's got a YouTube channel. I've watched some of his stuff. Pretty fun guy. He's always got the little hat on right there. But this is a 3/8 ounce spinnerbait. So it's made by Fish Hawg. Proudly made in the United States. And I thought this was a nice little finesse. I probably won't be using this until the fall, but that's a very nice little finesse bait. It's got that turtle blade, the gold turtle blade. I always like the gold and silver combo. It throws off a nice amount of flash. But I like that profile. That's a really cool skirt color. It's kind of to me, it was kind of a crappie color. What are they calling it? This is a sexy mouse. So sexy mouse color, but I like that, what do you call this? That striped colored skirt, variegated, or I think that's what they call it. But good looking spinnerbait. That is gonna be great in ponds, for sure. And in the fall when the fish get on those smaller shad. So I'm gonna be throwing that thing around. It seems like it's gonna hold up. It's got a fairly, I don't know, it's not a super thin wire. It's kind of a medium wire, and the arm's actually a little bit short, but just a nice compact little spinnerbait. I had to buy some of these. This is the Jean LaRue Salt Crawl, 4-inch salt crawl. And man, this used to be such a popular bait back in the, I want to say like the 80s and the 90s. The first time I ever saw these, ever caught fish on these, and ever heard about these was on Crab Orchard Lake. It was a big deal at Crab Orchard Lake over in Southern Illinois. And you had to have salt crawl. It was the deal. There was that, the pencil reed grass, and you'd put a salt crawl on a 1/8 ounce, you know, sinker. Back then it was just lead, and that was the deal. So I saw these and I thought, man, I'm gonna buy these. It's a cool profile. They don't see it a lot. It's just different looking. It's flat. So this is gonna be a really cool trailer. These things really stand up in the water because they're so flat and thin. So good trailer on a jig, Texas rig. Lots of different options on this. And the color that I got it's Okeechobee Crawl, but it doesn't look like the more modern Okeechobee Crawl. It's just a little bit different. I'm kind of halfway colorblind, but so I have trouble discussing or breaking down the color patterns. But you can tell what it is. It's that kind of plumish green pumpkin. I mean, typical Okeechobee Crawl's got the blue and the brown or green pumpkin on it, but that's a little bit different. I dropped the package here. So those are cool, man. Just something a little bit different. Just a kind of a finesse profile. It's not real wide. It's got it's simple. It doesn't have all the little, you know, appendages coming off of it. It's just a really simple bait. And I think in cold water, that may be something that's gonna give you some extra bites. I got another swim jig. This is a Mega swim jig. This is the Mega Signature Swim, 3/8 ounce, and this is a crappie pattern. I thought that was kind of a cool pattern. I don't have anything quite that color. And once again, you'll see that weed guard it's really soft actually. It's a really soft weed guard. They got a really big hook in this thing. Got a flat spot on the bottom, and so that's gonna skip pretty good. It's got the big line tie on there. Good keeper. You know, I would say, just looking at this, the way that skirt is, you're kind of crowded right there. The end of that skirt coming onto your keeper horn, it's kind of crowded right there. I don't know how good that's gonna work. I'm sure it'll work. That might need to be back a little bit, but hey, I'm just an average Joe here looking at this. But that's a pretty cool looking swim jig. It's really long though. I'm probably trimming all that off. I like to trim that sucker down about the bend, just a little bit past the bend. That's a lot of extra stuff, but I'm sure it's got a ton of action, but cool jig. I like that color. Crappie are a big food source for bass. It's kind of overlooked, and I overlook it a lot, but I think a lot of times the white swim jig works for shad and for crappie. So that is the Omega Signature Swim Crappie. Omega's kind of is a local company down Lake of the Ozarks area. Let's see what else we got in here. There you go, Hawgz Baits. This is the Saucy Swimmer. It's a 3.3-inch version of the swim bait. And I like this color. I don't have a lot of, well, this is probably the second Hawgz thing that I bought. The Bandito bugs are really good soft plastics. But their plastics are kind of like a one fish deal. The action's really, really good on them. But I like this color, man. That is a really cool color. They're calling that Green Gizzard Shad. But it's just, it's soft. It's kind of muted. It's not super pearly. It's not super bright. It's just a real muted color, and it just jumped out at me. I like that size too. That's a good finesse size. I like to put that on a 1/4 ounce head, 3/8 ounce head, and fish it down there deep. You can put a trailer on a swim jig, trailer on a chatterbait, just a lot of options. It's a really good color. So the Hawgz Baits Saucy Swimmer, 3.3 inches. I got a lot of stuff here. I brought some little crawl chunks, these little Yum crawl chunks. These are 2.75 crawl chunks. And my buddy Mike Marthel, he's been on our live stream a couple times. He got me fishing these, the Yum crawl chunk. He got me fishing the Yum crawl chunk several years ago at Lake of the Ozarks. And he fishes all three sizes. They have several different sizes, but most of the time he's fishing that bigger chunk. But this is a little small chunk. So I thought this would be great on like this little Bitsy jig by Cumberland Pro. Or even the Procaster jig. Just a nice chunk. It's simple. It's got some good color to it, and that is their crawdad color. So this is going to be a really good springtime color. I just really like that color. It's just a simple chunk. You got some pretty good action out of these things. They do a really good job. And the thing I like about Yum, like that's $2.99. You know, that's a 8-pack of chunks for $2.99. Their price is right on that stuff. Then I bought some big bite baits. This is the Tour Toad, 4-inch Tour Toad. Had not thrown any of these. Just open these up and look at them. Yeah, so basically it's like a horny toad. These little flippers you gotta pull them apart. But just something a little bit different. I don't know, I don't really throw the green pumpkin in the toads. It's usually white or black. But I do know green pumpkin is a good color to throw on any bait. So I picked up a pack of those just to try them out. Never know. Another company that I hadn't heard of before was Ledge Rock Lures. I'm not even sure where they're from, but they mentioned Guido Hibden. It says, the inspiration for Ledge Rock Lures came from my dear friend, mentor, and fishing legend, Guido Hibden. But this is a cool little chunk. It is called their medium D chunk, and this is going to be something to put on those little finesse jigs. It's pretty straight. It's just a crawl chunk. Got some big old pinchers on that sucker. But I thought for like this little bitsy jig here, it would be perfect to thread on there. Let's see what it looks like. Put this sucker on there. Thread it up. I mean, you can just hang it off like a traditional chunk, but that's a real compact package, a real long, slender, compact package. So I just thought these were cool, something new. I mean, it's kind of crazy looking. Definitely don't have anything like this. So I like to have some oddball stuff in there. You just never know when you can put that on and pick up a few bites. And then I bought some beavers. You know, this is something that really starts happening during the spawn. I love throwing a beaver. This is my favorite color, it's the Dirty Sanchez. If you don't have this color, please do yourself a favor and get some. This is a really good color in our area, Southern Illinois and Southeast Missouri. It's the standard Sweet Beaver 4.20. So Sweet Beaver 420. Great bait. I love throwing these when the fish are up on beds. Throw that on a really lightweight. It just catches fish, man. You gotta have those. And I found these little dippers. This is another swim bait I throw. This is probably my go-to swim bait. This Reaction Innovations Little Dipper. But I hadn't seen this color. It's called Smallmouth Magic. And it just kind of jumped out at me. It's got a little bit of flash there. It's got the pearl belly. It's got that green back. And it's got that I want to say it's like a purplish fleck in there. I don't know if this lighting's doing it justice, but this is a great little swim bait. These, man, I throw these on everything. I put them on Alabama rigs, swim jigs, chatterbaits, just all around good swim jig. I bought some of these Fusion frog hooks. You know, they've got the screw lock in them, the double hook. So that's going to be going on those big by bait codes that I bought. These are great hooks. Very, very affordable too. You know, the Fusion line by Berkley, they're priced right and they're really good hooks. And of course, the DTs. I bought 2 of these DTs. Let me see where that one's at. The DT6. This is my favorite color. Well, both of these are my favorite color. The Penguin and the Old School. These are both great colors all year long. But this one right here, you know, you always hear about red, and red's a good spring color. But don't overlook the more traditional type colors, especially in that stained water and this Old School color. I mean, look at that sucker. That's beautiful. It's just a really good colored bait. I've caught a lot of fish on this. It's got good, it's a, you know, it's dulled out. It's not so bright and flashy. You know, the thing I like about these DT6s is the coloring on them. They look kind of, I don't want to say used, but they've got more of a matte, kind of softer finish on them. It's not so clear coated looking. And this Penguin is a really good one. You know, it's got that throat right there that kind of pops out. And once again, it's got that little bit softer look to it. It just, I just like that color a lot. Caught quite a few fish on this. So I've only got 2 of these left. So I thought, well, I saw those, I better buy one I'm not buying. And then another bait that I've been hearing a lot about is the Curve 55 by 6 cents. It's that rock crawler, wiggle wart type of bait. Let's pull this sucker out. 6 cents, man, they're paint jobs. They do a really good job on their paint jobs. I've been looking at the Provoke 106 jerkbait. I've got several of those, and they have really good paint schemes on those. And this one just jumped out at me. It's called, called Gravel Crawl. Really cool color. It's got that brown and fades into like the orangish, and it's got some red on the back. A little bit of purple right there. A lot going on in this crankbait. Comes with pretty good hooks, good split rings. It's a little bit lighter than the bigger rock crawler. I think if this is a 3/8, I want to say it's a 3/8. I don't know if it tells me on here somewhere. Yeah, 3/8. It dives down from 5 to 9 foot. So the rock crawler gets down a little bit deeper. So this is more like the wiggle wart depth. I would say I'll be throwing this on 12-pound test. I throw most of my crankbaits on 12-pound tests, but really nice. This is something that's going to start playing really, really soon. I like to throw these things around when the water's like 43-ish, you know, late February, early March. Doesn't really matter the water temp so much when those fish are starting to move, make their way back on those lead-in banks. These rock crawler type baits are awesome. So 6 cents, I wanted to try that Curve 55. I've been hearing a little bit about it, so we will definitely get out there in the water and check that out. Once this stupid ice melts. Got a couple more baits. This is, you know, I fish a lot of jerk baits, and for some reason, I've never bought the Durealis jerkbait. But I saw this in there. I thought that was a really cool color. It's called, where is the color at? Wakasagi. I think that's how you pronounce that. But really interesting color. I'll pull this sucker out for you. Heard a lot of good things about the Durealis jerkbait. And it's a really, I think, you know, a lot of times in the spring when the water starts warming up, everything's kind of dull looking. Everything's kind of dull. It's been in the mud and up against the dying, decaying weeds and stuff. It just kind of got that dull winter look. Things aren't quite as bright. So I just thought this color would match some of those bait fish that are coming out of that winter period. And it's got the silver belly. I wish it would have a white, and I can always take a white Sharpie or something, a white paint pen, and put some white on there. But I do like that. So I'm really interested to throw this thing around. It's got a different sound to it. Definitely different sound than most of the other jerkbaits that I have. So I'm looking forward to throwing this soon. I got a few more baits. I told you I went overboard here. I just got some Berkley Fusion treble hooks, some size 6, just 1X. I mean, you need these. You you know, it's going to be the time of year where you start changing out some of your hooks and stuff. When you get out in the water, you realize that maybe they take on some rust. I got some P-line snaps. I love a snap on any hard bait, jerk baits, crankbaits, lipless, anything like that. I'm running a snap. You can just, it adds weight to the jerk baits, helps them get down a little bit, gives them that nose down presence, which is most of the time what I like. And it also allows you to change crankbaits. If you want something that runs a little bit deeper or you want a different color, the snap is just something to have. You don't have to tie a knot every time. And I have not had any problem losing fish or baits with these snaps. I've been running snaps forever, 15, 20 years. This is the size 1, so it's got 40-pound breaking strength. A lot of times I go up to the next size because it's easier to get on and off, especially in cold weather. You know, your thumb doesn't quite work as well, and it's a little bit tricky, but these are a little bit more finessey. I've already got some bigger ones, so I wanted a little smaller ones. I also bought a Series 3. Strike King Series 3. This is the baby carp color. Really cool color. I've got some of these in the red eye shad, and I just kind of like that. It's got that spring look to it. You know, it's got your reds and your oranges and dark back. This bait is going to get down to about 5 foot. So, cool little bait. Just a real subtle wiggle to it. Going to be a really good springtime bait. A few more things I bought. I saw these 6-cent Ned fries, 4.6 inch 6-cent Ned fry in the worm juice color, and that color just kind of jumped out at me. I'm going to be going to Mille Lacs coming up real soon, so I'm going to go heavy on the Ned stuff, and these just jumped out at me. That's a really cool color. It's a centipede-ish, but it tapers down. The tail kind of tapers down. It's flat on the bottom. It's got the blunt nose, so it'll snug right up to the back of your Ned heads pretty nicely. It's kind of stiff, you know. It's a little bit of a more durable plastic. I'm sure you're going to be able to catch a lot of fish on that, but I just like that color quite a bit. And this is something you can definitely put on a shaky head too. Drop shot. You can hang it off the back of a jig. You just got a lot of options. You could actually take this and fish it weightless, like a fluke. I do that a lot and get some bites on that. So new product from 6 Cents. I guess it's a new product. It's a new product to me. It's called their Ned Fry. Couple more things I got. This is from Crocagator. This is their ring crawl. You know, this is something I have not fished, but man, I hear about it all the time. And it's that really small, it looks like the Zoom makes a critter crawl, I believe. It's real similar to the critter crawl, but this is going to be something I can put on the back of a jig, or you can throw it on a shaky head around the beds. Just a more plain, simple, finessey trailer for a jig. And then the last thing I got, boom, I love frogs. And man, this thing jumped out at me. This thing is huge. This is a Zoom hollow belly frog, black. And I didn't realize they were this big. It's like a rat, man. This sucker's huge. I have no idea. I haven't read any reviews on them. It just jumped out at me, and I like big frogs, and I cannot lie. And it's got seems like a pretty good hook. Soft. It's got 3 legs there. It's got that little tail there in the middle, and it's got your 2 traditional skirted legs right there. But it's just big. I wish I had another frog to compare it to, but that's a really big frog. It's really, really long, and it looks like it's got pretty good hooks, you know. And like I said, like I just showed you, it's breaking away. You got pretty good bite. That's real important on a frog. Is you want this body to collapse all the way down to the hook, and you want to expose that bite. You can really see it on that side right there. So I don't think you're going to have any problem. It's going to catch big fish. Jeez, it's going to take a pretty good fish to suck that thing in. That's a really, really big frog. The thing with the frog, the bottom is all that matters. The top doesn't matter. The top is just for the fishermen. The bottom is for the fish. Although I do like to have a bright back on the frog, because when you're throwing out there in the mat, you can see that frog a lot farther away. But the fish, they just see the belly, so black and white. But cool frog. I've seen these on Tackle Warehouse, but I've never actually seen them in the store. So I was like, dang, it's a lot bigger than what I thought it was. But cool. So I got all kinds of stuff to go out there and play with. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. I know it got kind of lengthy, but I actually bought more stuff than I thought I did. And I got a lot of stuff to put away. I got to do some tackle organization to find spots for all these new baits. But I love new baits. I don't do it all that much, but when I do, I usually just sample a bunch of different stuff. So that's all I got for you guys. Hey, if you appreciate this content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification so anytime I'm dropping content, you'll be the first to know. And till next time, hopefully next time, we will be out there on the water fishing, using some of this stuff, catching some fish. I'm so ready for spring. I'm so ready for spring. So that's all I got for you guys. Thanks.